back again with another book. I'm in a different area of the house. I can already hear the cat scratching on the door to come in, but let's just try and ignore them. So today we've got A Day in Venice by Bettina, I think is the name of the author. I got this when I was younger. It was withdrawn from sale from the local library. A lot of my books have got this withdrawn from sale stamp in it. I remember going to the library in Spalding and being allowed to dig through the big box of withdrawn from sale books, and and my mum would let me choose things. One of my other favourite books is another withdrawn from sale. I think I might have that another day. Anyway, I think this one might be a bit longer than the other ones, so I'm going to try not to go off on too much of a tangent. But I'm still going to try and show you all the pictures. Okay, so this is A Day in Venice. It's got written in 1973. It's got a really lovely art style. I feel like all the pages are painted especially because they've all got this, this one's got a date on it. And it's all sort of, I think this might have been another one where it had a cover on it and I wanted the cover to be taken off, so I kind of ripped it a bit. I don't know why I was always obsessed with not having covers on things when I was younger. Anyway. If you had seen Lucio bringing his father's geese home in the little Italian village of Terzo, you would have thought that one goose looked exactly like the other. Just a goose, another goose, and yet another goose. Ah, how wrong that would have been. That is what things would have looked like to you and me, but not to Lucio. There's Lucio with his geese. To him, Amanda looked quite different to Elvira. And Ottavio, who was a gander, was a different being altogether. But most different of all was Bella. I think Bella does look different from the others. Because Bella loved Lucio. Why? No one ever knew. But while the other geese always did everything together, walked together, ate together, talked, laughed, got angry at the same time, Bella behaved differently. When Lucio had given them their evening feed, all the geese settled down to sleep, but not Bella. As soon as Lucio went to the house because his mother called, "Supper is ready," Bella stuck her head through a hole she had torn in the wire mesh of the goose pen and cried at the top of her voice. The other geese woke up and cried too. There was no peace until Lucio let Bella out. She was crying at him as he's going into the house. Excuse me. She then went to sleep on the front steps of the house, for Mother would have no animals indoors. There she is, sleeping on the steps of the house. Of course, Lucio too was very fond of Bella, but what took up far more space in his heart was the longing to see Venice. 2 years ago, the grocer had given Mother a calendar with a picture of an Italian town for each month. For June, there was one of Venice. It showed the Grand Canal with palaces on either side, gondolas, glittering waves. There's a picture of his calendar there by his bed. Every evening before going to sleep, Lucio looked at this picture. He never turned to another page. For Venice, the Queen of the Sea, as she was called, had become the queen of his dreams. Sometimes, sitting on the grass, he would count on the petals of a daisy. I'll see Venice this year, next year, later, never. This year. Bella watched him and wondered what it was all about. There he is, picking at his daisy petals. One summer morning, to everyone's surprise, cover's coming up. I'm getting my dream. I'm going to just take it off because I don't want to rustle too much. Oh, still got a nice cover anyway. Okay. One summer morning, to everyone's surprise, Mother's youngest brother, Uncle Carlo from Grado, I think that's how it's pronounced, turned up in his sports car. "I've only come for a minute to greet you all," he said, "as I must drive on to Venice on business." To Venice, cried Lucio. But Venice stands in the water. How can you drive there? Over a big bridge across the lagoon, said his uncle. Ah, sighed Lucio. I always wanted to see Venice, but I have no money to get there. Excuse me. There's his uncle and his flashy sports car. If Mama and Papa permit it, I will take you and bring you home tonight. But you will be on your own in Venice, as I shall be busy all day. Gosh, you can tell that this book was written in 1973. That wouldn't happen now. Anyway. Oh, Papa, Mama, please say yes, begged Lucio. They did say yes, and Papa added, Lucio is now a big boy and will do nothing foolish. Mama wanted to pack bread and cheese for Lucio, but Uncle Carlo said his nephew would buy lunch in Venice, and he tucked some money into Lucio's pocket. The good uncle was thanked and kissed. Lucio's sister Maria promised to mind the geese, and with addio Mama, addio Papa, addio Maria, addio Bella, Lucio climbed into the car next to Uncle Carlo. Little did they know, as they drove along the white dusty road, that a passenger who had not been invited sat on the boot of the car. Now, I'm laughing because, little did they know there was a great big huge honking goose on the back of their car. I don't know how they didn't see that one. After an hour's driving, Uncle Carlo stopped at a petrol station to fill up. The attendant said, Excuse me, signor, but are you sure your luggage is safe on top of your boot? Uncle Carlo and Lucio turned round. Bella, cried Lucio, what have you done? Uncle Carlo asked the attendant whether he could keep Bella until they returned in the evening, but the man said he had nowhere to lock up a goose. So what could they do but take Bella along to Venice? I do love that they asked the petrol station attendant if he could look after their goose. I'm sure he gets asked that all the time. Oh, sorry, my goose is in the car. Would you possibly look after it while I go to Venice? I'm sure you've got nothing better to do all day at your petrol station. The drive seemed long to Lucio until at last they were on a wide, long bridge, and there, before his wondering eyes, she rose from the water, shining like mother of pearl, the queen of the sea, the city of his dreams, Venice. Cars and lorries came towards them. An express train rushed past with much noise. Lucio held Bella firmly and shouted, Bella, look, this is Venice. The journey ended on a large square, hustling and bustling with people. Buses and cars were standing about. Glass ornaments, bags, hats, and pullovers were being sold. Uncle Carlo stopped by a huge garage and said, I must leave my car here. In Venice, one drives about only in boats. Over there is the stop of the Vaporetto, the water bus of Venice. Take your ticket to St. Mark's Square and meet me here at 6 o'clock. Enjoy yourselves and be good. Again, let's just ignore the fact that it's a small boy on his own in Venice for the day. Take your goose, buy some lunch. Lucio, hugging Bella in his arms, found the Vaporetto stop and bought his ticket. But when the boat arrived, he was told that a goose was not allowed on board. Lucio, 1 foot on the boat which began to move, was near despair, when a gondola, who was on his way to St. Mark's, said he would take Bella along and hand her to Lucio on arrival. Lucio soon managed to get a seat right in front of the boat and had a wonderful view of the Grand Canal, with palaces on either side, gondolas, bridges, sparkling waves. It was even more beautiful than the picture above his bed. Bella sat contentedly in the cushioned seat of the gondola, which swayed along far behind the Vaporetto. At times Lucio could see her and wave to her, but at times at a bend of the canal or at various stops, where people got off and on the boat, he lost sight of her for a while. I'll bring this picture in so you can see a little bit. I really like this gondola that's asleep in his boat. And I'm still very keen on this whole, oh, don't worry, I'll take your goose to St. Mark's Square. Don't worry. At the Vaporetto stop, St. Mark's, so many passengers left the boat that Lucio was pushed and shoved along. He did not know that the stop was not by the square and was amazed to be in a narrow street. He asked his way to the square and was told to walk on. At the end of the street, oh bad luck, he followed some people who turned to the left. He walked on and on, up and down bridges over canals, across several squares, but found neither St. Mark's nor the gondola with Bella. The gondola, when he did not see Lucio at St. Mark's Square, left Bella to find him on her own, as you would. She waddled about and saw lots of pigeons being fed with corn. As she was hungry, she gobbled up some grains. This started a big fuss and to-do. The jealous pigeons fluttered around her. A lady screamed, "A goose on St. Mark's Square! How shocking!" A child howled, "Naughty goose, go away!" And a gentleman ran to fetch the city guards. I mean, Bella is quite an enormous goose. When you look at her compared to that little girl, she's quite big. Bella, frightened by so much noise, flew to the top of the clock tower. Here, 2 iron men were just about to strike the hour on a bell when the fluttering Bella got in their way and the clockwork stopped. The crowd below came nervous. 2 guards who had just arrived drew their revolvers and fired 2 shots in the air. Pigeons and people fled, and there were cries of, "A revolution! Take to the boats!" Bella, unhurt, flew away. Get her on top of the tower. She is huge. Meanwhile, Lucio had come to a tall bridge on which were rows of shops. "Hey, young man," called one of the shopkeepers, "what about a fine necklace for your girlfriend?" Lucio could not resist and bought a glass bead necklace for his sister Maria. Suddenly he heard a woman saying to another one, "Did you know they shot at a mad goose on St. Mark's Square, but it flew away?" There's the necklaces there. Lucio dashed down the steps of the bridge, along narrow streets and over more bridges, asking everyone if they had seen a goose, but they all replied that there were no geese in Venice. Tired and worried, he came to a monument of a proud man on horseback. He walked all around it, but in vain. Bella was not there. He asked a lady who sat nearby painting, "Please, signora, have you seen a goose around here?" "That's what I am sketching," said the lady. "Look how peacefully the dear bird is sleeping beneath the horse." And there's Bella sleeping at the bottom of the horse. And there's the lady painting her. Lucio looked up. "Bella!" he shouted. "Oh, please," cried the lady, "do not disturb my model." Too late. Bella awoke, but did not know where Lucio's voice came from and flew away. The artist was distressed, but Lucio only said, "Excuse me," and ran off after Bella. I'm sure this goose gets bigger in every picture. At last, too exhausted and hungry to go on, he stopped at a simple inn and ate a big plateful of spaghetti. He told the fat man who shared his table that he had lost a goose in Venice. "You'll find her," said the man. "You know, my boy, in Venice, everybody finds everybody else." Yeah, don't worry, I'm sure she'll turn up. Feeling stronger thanks to the spaghetti and the fat man's words, Lucio walked on and on. Suddenly he found himself by the sea. Oh, that was splendid. Big and little ships, an island with a church and houses, gondolas, white-crested waves, swooping seagulls. And once more a bridge to cross. So up on one side and down. But what was that? Quick, quick, down the other side. For there was Uncle Carlo running after Bella, and now, whoop, he had caught her by the tail. An astonished gentleman stood nearby. Some people were looking on. "Uncle Carlo, Bella!" cried Lucio. "Ah, Lucio, here you are." "Thank heavens," panted Uncle Carlo. And he told Lucio that walking by the sea with Signor Buffo, his business friend, he had seen Bella sad and alone, and had worried where Lucio might be. "Now that all is well," said Signor Buffo, "let us sit down." I feel like Uncle Carlo is quite a laid-back person. "Oh, I saw your goose on her own. I thought, oh, she's going to be lonely. I wonder where my nephew is. My 8-year-old nephew that I just left wandering around Venice with his goose." This book's ridiculous. Anyway. At an elegant cafe, Lucio had 2 ice creams, Bella had some maize pudding, and the gentlemen iced coffee. Presently, a man came along selling ties and silk shawls. Signor Buffo bought a tie, and Uncle Carlo a big silk shawl for Lucio to take to his mother. Then he said, "Dear Lucio, Signor Buffo and I must go to a meeting, so walk around St. Mark's Square, take good care of Bella, and be at the garage on time." Lucio thanked his uncle and Signor Buffo and walked away with Bella. I remember always loving this man with the silk scarves when I was younger. I don't know what it is about him. I just really liked him. He just looks really fancy. Suddenly, Lucio remembered that Bella had almost been shot on St. Mark's Square. Sorry to laugh, it just made me laugh. Suddenly, Lucio remembered that Bella had almost been shot on St. Mark's Square, and he decided not to go there. Alas, once more he took a wrong turn, and 2 minutes later, there they stood, on St. Mark's Square. Immediately the pigeons began to attack Bella, so Lucio put the big shawl around her and said, "Now, Bella, no one will recognise you. No one will notice that you are a goose anymore, that you have a shawl." Then they began to walk around this famous square. Oh, the beauty of the gold-covered entrance to the big church. And no one, really no one, that's in the book, recognised Bella. Really no one recognised her. They had a wonderful time. But when the iron men on the clock struck 5, they had to make for the garage. By sheer good luck, Lucio found the same gondolier who had taken Bella to St. Mark's, and for the money Lucio scraped from his pocket, he was willing to row them to the garage. I'm glad something's working out for them. On the way, he told Lucio the names of the palaces, and as they came to the bridge where Lucio had bought the necklace, he said, "And this is the Rialto." They were at the garage at 6 o'clock sharp, and found Uncle Carlo already at the wheel of his car. They scrambled into the back seats, and as Uncle Carlo started the engine, Lucio whispered, "Bella, listen, this is goodbye to Venice." Let's have a look at this picture. All these nice details, little cafe and everything, all the boats, and a goose on a gondola. You know what I wonder as well? You know how Uncle Carlo was at the wheel of his car, waiting for Lucio? I wonder whether, if he hadn't been on time, do you think Uncle Carlo would have just driven home? I like to think he wouldn't, but I'm not sure. It was dusk when they arrived in Terzo, and Lucio and Bella got out of the car. "Give my love to everybody," said Uncle Carlo. "I won't come to the house, as I want to get home before dark." So he's just left him on the road outside. I like how earlier on Uncle Carlo was called, what is he called? The good uncle. I don't want to know what the bad one's like. Lucio thanked his uncle for all his kindness, kissed him goodbye, and waved to him until the car was out of sight. And there he is, reunited with his family. After a late supper, Lucio told his family about the wonderful day in Venice. Maria, proud of her necklace, said, "What a good and clever brother I have." And Mother, wearing the silk shawl, said, "When we found out that Bella had gone with you, we feared you might lose each other and Uncle Carlo in Venice." "Oh no, Mamma," said Lucio. "You know, Mamma, in Venice, everybody finds everybody else." That night, just for once, Bella was allowed to sleep by Lucio's bed. And there they are. She's all curled up like she was at the bottom of the statue. For some reason, I thought he was going to say in the text, a mother wearing the silk shawl said, why has the shawl got feathers all over it? I don't know why I had that in my head that was in the book. I don't know. Maybe when it was read to me when I was younger, like my mum put that bit in. I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, 1973. Now they are eating What did he have? A big bowl of spaghetti with Uncle Carlo and his businessman friend. So yes. So I chose that one because it's a favourite from when I was younger. But also I chose it because my friend Mindy has been watching the videos that I've been doing and shared it today, and I thought, I've got a book about a goose. Sorry. My phone just went... yeah, Mindy's surname's Goose. I didn't say that bit. So I thought, I've got a book with a goose in it. I'm going to share that. And also, I like that in media, geese are really like mischievous. There's that Untitled Goose Game, which is brilliant, which is basically just you're a goose and you honk at things and steal things. I got it last year, and it was like it cheered Ian up one day when he was really upset about something. So now if he's having a bad day, I'm like, I just honk like a goose and it cheers him up. So I don't know why in media geese are always like that. Just a bit like, Bella wasn't that mean, but she was a bit mischievous. So yeah, that's A Day in Venice. I don't know if this person's got any other books. This is definitely a first edition, so I don't even know if it was reprinted. So I don't know anything about it other than this goose is ridiculous. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope today has been not too bad. It's still all a bit weird and up in the air. It's Thursday that I'm recording on. I probably won't upload this till Friday. Everything's all still a bit up in the air. I think school's closed tomorrow. I say closed, they are still open for some children that need to go into school. They need somewhere to go because various things, their parents are working in certain places, or they need somewhere to go, or they need hot food. I think that's one of them too. So yes, it's all going to look even more different tomorrow, I'm sure. So again, like I said yesterday, everyone needs to take care of themselves and pull together. Take care of themselves and others, I should say, and pull together and stay safe. Okay, I'll see you again for another book soon.